Mr. Cole Delwin. Wait, Mr. Cole Delwin.
Cole Delwin.
Big
Mr.
bro
Mr.
Delwin.
He has a comment here. I just want to say when we win as a team, and when we lose as a team. Never give up. I think a lot of people saw his stories and
Yes.
big W.
Big W.
For Kodelwin, man.
For sure. I agree, man. Like, this guy's always been a stand-up dude. He always trusts his players fully, even in this position, by the way. When, you know, like, most of the fans as well have kind of lost hope. He's that one guy who says, calm down, guys. You know, this is our first season with this new roster. They showed glimpses of brilliance, and it's not over yet. We still have a chance. And they're using their chance very, very well so far.
He's an anchor, not a catalyst.
He is an interesting caller, you could say.
Anchor color. All right. Well, for DEWA, it seems that they're just concerned about a big team fight. But anyway, the X-Borg and the Terizla, or is it a team fight, or is it about strong EXP laners that can have good clear and good influence here? They might be trying to get Dixon something a bit more aggressive, something that can be used for them to really get control. Because earlier in the Lapu-Lapu, he was trying to make things happen, but it just wasn't good enough.
Is that why Arlet keeps getting banned out by Alter Ego? The respect over to Dixon? Dixon's been popping off on the Arlet, right? What other heroes did he really perform on?
Lapu, Terizla, X-Borg.
Really?
They banned it all out though. So Lapu-Lapu
Yuzong?
is the usual choice here. The Yuzong, we've seen him play Yuzong.
I mean, against an Natan, it could work.
Most Yuzongs up against Natan, especially in the mid game, tend to get cut down from the skies.
CC.
That's something that I don't expect from Mr. Dixon. That's what I expect from Mr. Kimura usually, you know? CC, Benedetta, Paquito, CC. I guess with a Vengeance, it does make sense, but if you do go Vengeance here, and you go up front, the Mirage is gonna nom and take you out.
For DEWA, this is just a big showing of we want to have an Angela and we want to have all the combos available. So the box here, the CC, always for an all-in to happen with the help of the hard guard. For Alter Ego, it seems like they're a bit more flexible. They can be responsive, but they are the ones with the Yuzong and a Ruby even. They see all these dive heroes. They want to try and make space. They want to try and stop that movement, especially with a Grok. I guess they want to have spammable skills they can use to do crowd control, but also damage to deter the Grok from just moving freely around the map.
You know what this is? This is Protect Mr. President composition. It's just all peel, except for the Yuzong, obviously, who can fly back and deal some damage as well. But yeah, they're really just going to be playing for Nino on this Natan. So they need Nino to pop off. They need to enable Nino this game. Completely different from last game.
And now DEWA, they need to make a choice here. They're going to use Carry in the gold lane. Carry versus Natan in the lane?
I feel like Carry still has the better trading advantage. Because usually, especially with the weakness finder, the Natan can kind of win in the short trades and some poke as well. But if this is going to be a, you know, like a Brave Smite carry maybe, or Quantum Charge carry, I feel like she can sustain pretty well and kind of deal some damage while exiting from the trade to really come out on top.
Agree?
We've kind of moved on from the Brave Fight meta of the carry. If he goes Quantum Charge, I honestly feel like it's just a bro lane. Like, there's not really much of bullying, especially if Nino plays the way he did last game, where he was just last hitting these minions on the Roger. He can do the same thing with Natan. Watt always tends to just push his lane, and if he does that, free farm for Natan.
And this is it. Ladies and gentlemen, the wings of MPL ID Season 13 are flying high. Will the DEWA dreams be shattered today, ladies and gentlemen, as Alter Ego look to go a full clean sweep 2-0 in game number 2. The last stand about to ensue.
Looking at the battle spells, the 2 Purifies in the hands of DEWA, but they're a lot more concerned, and this hints that they want to be a bit more safe, but also that they want to be a bit more aggressive positioning-wise, potentially. With Dixon not having the Vengeance though, not going to be as survivable if he's going in, especially against multiple people. And like we said later on, for the gold lane, I think Carry can do good damage, but also it's very single target heavy. Compared to Natan, it can do can output damage to multiple people.
So now with the Purify too, this is what we expected, right? If Dixon actually went for the Vengeance, it would be really tough up against this CC from Alter Ego towards the CC of DEWA, which is Dixon, not the crowd control, you know, like differentiate CC and CC. Hey, man, it's tough, man.
It's okay.
Is it CC or Chi-Chi? Some people like...
That's how they say it in the Indo desk, but I believe
Chi-Chi.
Exactly.
CC is the way you say it in English.
Yeah.
It gets kind of confusing, but it is what it is.
CC to the CC, but he purifies it.
We'll see how this plays out here, especially in the mid game. I think Krite is just having a lot of success in just threatening keys away from these fights, and you're really seeing that once again, all three are the ones who are a bit more proactive and looking for opportunities. It seems like Gary just wants to try and use that mobility to actually find more undisturbed, less conflict-heavy resources this time. Looking at the emblems by GamesMax, wanted the Master Assassin, Basic Emblem, and Quantum Charge. So, might be a bro lane unless a gank comes in, generally. Keys with the focusing mark, though, he will be trying to just enable and use the hard guard in a more aggressive manner. Whereas, I think Pi on the agility and Festival of Blood is going to be just trying to be sustainable and mobile enough to at least keep up with Dixon just moving around the map.
Oh, this is danger for DEWA. If Alter Ego secure the neutral objective with this composition, if they snowball within a ton, it'll be really scary. And Krite is already chucking Drian down. Purify instantly. Taz, no detonus welcome as Gary continues the turtle, but they reset it for now. No Purify on Dixon will mean that Alter Ego can actually utilize a lot of their CC. Meanwhile, the Groff, no, has hit level 4, can go in for the dive wall, charge to the back right now, and that is going to be Gary who wins it out in the end with the help of the hard guard. First blood though, 4 pies, Krite flickers out to safety. It's a 1-for-1 trade, neutral objective for a kill.
Ooh, that could have gone so wrong for DEWA. The fact that they also committed onto Angela mid means that the clear is not going to be as fast unless Drian wants to go for the babysit. And when he does, he doesn't have any access to this. The invasion.
Okay.
Okay, the reset happens. Is he able to take it away?
The bottom lane, Watt has the Purify, will be able to escape, dealing some damage back as well. We go back to Taz to see if he got the orange buff. No, Drian took it away, revenge! Drian with the purple buff steal, now Gary, shield unity. To go over to Rossi, who still is able to dodge away for now, flickers out of the barrier. Taz will be able, at least I think, to take the orange buff. Has the retry, uses it up. In the mid lane, Krite winning out in the trade against Kaze.
It's a definite reverse Uno card from game number 2 with Drian being able to pick up the Grok. He's able to do exactly the same thing that Rossi did on to Gary in game number 1. And has it done work just yet? It seems like they're at least the same level. There's not a difference this time around.
Both junglers still even as of right now. Seems like I think Gary has a bit of an XP lead, but look at this play.
Oh no, the rock gets nom-nommed. I don't know how you eat rocks, but Taz did it. And he took him out.
Swallowing rocks for breakfast. That is what Taz was doing. Now with that pressure, you can see that they are falling further back. And they really can't be aggressive unless they do have the 2 solid rocks just rolling around. Gary and Drian on the Grok and the Baxia. So in that sense, it becomes a bit more predictable for Alter Ego because they know that wherever those 2 go, that's where the aggression will follow. And if they're not around, that's where Alter Ego are the ones that can dictate the pressure and clear the waves faster and out-damage the members of DEWA.
Going on Wolf King. Dixon pulled back. Drian going for the purple buff. Here, he might still be trying to go for it. Hard guard on the Dixon. Taz has it as welcome. Ken, you know, he actually does not. That's his zoning coming down, and that is a good wild charge for Taz.
What?
To secure it. The retreat battle was won out. Pi gets the kill onto Gary. Dixon is playing with the yo-yos, but Alter Ego don't care. Wow, Alter Ego win out the neutral objective battle and also trade a kill for it.
Whoa, wait. Was Gary taken out before they went for the retry battle? Or
No.
did they go for 50-50? But Taz got knocked up by Drian, right?
Yes, he did.
What?
Pi, I think, went for Gary to try and equalize the situation.
Oh, he got petried and wild charged. Gary.
Right, so Gary was just crowd controlled as well. So great from Alter Ego to know that, of course, Taz will get crowd controlled, but the least they can do for their jungler is to make sure that the odds are evened out, as Watt takes a lot of damage. It's just going to be a dive coming through, though.
Yeah, they're just going to go for the turret there. Has the entropy behind as well, and that's another Purify pop for Watt. It almost seems like he doesn't have Purify because it's always on cooldown.
It must be so tough with so much aggression coming through. plus the fact that Nino has a little bit more to play with in terms of range as well. It's not a great start for carry at all, but wait a minute.
Rion, wild charge. The back of the turret, but the turret will be taken for free. Gary wants to go in. Nom Nom. It was a rock earlier. Now it is a box shield with a shield, and it's just a disengage Nom Nom and a spit back for the disengage. Oh,
what?
I'm offended to the base with the flicker as well. Comboed in with a wild charge by Krite, who stole it away from Drian. Oh man, Gary, second death this game.
He's offended, for sure. That is a good pickoff coming in from Alter Ego. From Rasi on the Ruby.
The man knows how to make plays, when to make plays, man. As long as you let him cook. With that play, Nino has secured the Starlium site as well, so expect a bit more burst damage coming in from Alter Ego. They're falling further behind. Man, they really overextended right there, knowing that the hard guard was almost up. They really tried to get something, but they don't have the same kind of engage potential, and now Alter Ego are the ones controlling the turtle pit.
Rossi, I'm offended onto Gary. Dixon now walking up. Denton is welcome. Purified instantly with the hard guard still on him. Still looking for an angle now as Gian pops in the barrier, but Taz will just retreat it together. Krite always stealing the wild charge to stop Gary from even entering the neutral objective pit.
It's been a big problem. They haven't been able to secure anything on the board except for that turtle earlier on. All the rest of the objectives have been given over to Alter Ego. It looked like DEWA United wanted to go for that universal play with the Angela for keys in the bottom side, but even that wasn't been able to find much success as he was quick to be needed to enter that particular team fight.
Even though the laners that they're supposed to use as a sort of pressure, Dixon on the CC, not really able to find a lot of 1v1 duels, and he's not really able to find a lot of impact in the middle of these big fights. But look at here, this is a gang coming in from Gary.
Furious dive, and he'll be able to outplay this if he uses Black Dragon form, but he does not. Not in time, or was it on cooldown? It was actually on cooldown. Gary now will be targeted down by Alter Ego. Rossi with I'm offended, now pulling Dixon. No, Purify on him, and was baited out by Taz earlier. Wild charge out of the back, but now Nino has the Purify as well. Pops the Entropy, melting everyone. Picking up a double kill, has the Entropy in the back, decides to blink back as well, and Nino still survives in this skirmish. It ends up being 2 for 1 in favor of Alter Ego.
That was a big fight with a flustered Oasis in the hands of the Angela, but it's just not enough to really equalize. Watt tries his best right here to come in from the side and attempt a bit of an assassination towards the prior members of Alter Ego, but he doesn't have nearly enough damage to try and do anything meaningful there. Meanwhile, on the side of Alter Ego, see Divine Glaive rushed by Krite, so the burst damage is going to be there, especially if he steals away the wild charge and lands it on multiple people. That can be, once again, a big game-changing moment. Whereas for Nino, I feel like he's just building straight for the Holy Crystal. There's no real reason to really pump the brakes right here. He isn't really in any danger. There's not really a lot of ways for DEWA to really try and zone him or threaten him in the middle of all these big fights.
That's actually interesting. I thought Krite wanted to go a little bit more utility with the way that he's been playing. Wild charge, like Mirko mentioned earlier on, always using it in these neutral objectives, doesn't even get caught out. He's still at 006, but he goes Enchanted Talisman and then Divine Glaive. Why straight Divine Glaive?
I think usually when it's a bit more of a close fight, a bit more of a messy fight, you're going to go for the Blood Wings, right? That's the new popular item that gives you a bit of survivability. As a short-range mage like a Valentina, there's just great value on that item. But consider that he isn't the main focus, and he hasn't been focused down by anyone from DEWA, and they don't have a lot of ways to really nuke or chunk someone down. It's all shred damage coming in from Watt, from Gary, from Dixon. He doesn't really feel the danger to go for something that defensive. So Divine Glaive it is to try and shut down and do more damage against all these beefy members that DEWA wants to use as the front line.
Man. Holy Crystal, 10th minute. Big power spike for Alter Ego. And they decide to utilize it. Drian gets melted before he can even do anything! Dixon is next, he pops the ultimate, but what can that do against a Natan who already has a Holy Crystal? Holy moly! Alter Ego Snowball is real. It's a 2.8k goal lead, and it might just be bumped up to 3,000 with the Lord taken away. And Nino still just going at the turret with no threat at all, presented by DEWA.
That instant shred of power. You could see that instant swap, that switch coming through from Alter Ego, instantly capitalizing over that momentum flick. And here we are, 3K gold lead for Alter Ego, a Lord on the way in the top side. And the fact that a Natan has already reached that power spike, how do DEWA want to go for this? How do they change? What do they do? How do they take Nino out?
Ooh, they lose their purple buff as well here. How to take Nino out? There are just so many layers to Alter Ego, and DEWA, there's just so many problems. They have to try and find a way to get past the front line and go for the immediate dive onto Nino. But the issue is, now with the Holy Crystal as well, yes, they are reading armors in the inventory for Baxia and Grok, right? For Gary and Drian, but we saw how easily they got destroyed and demolished by that late game Natan damage. So they have to try and wait for a moment where the Purify isn't up first of all, and just go at it. Spend multiple battle spells to try and take him out. That's about the only play they have. And at this point, it's on the shoulders of Alter Ego to let them have that play.
They baited out the Poissons already. Driano almost gets deleted from the Land of Dawn just with a few shots. And the last tick of the Glowing Wand, luckily he has K's with the Angela and the Flask of the Oasis to help. But my god, that's a frontliner.
Problem is, Nino has Blood Wings too now, so other than that versatility that he has in these team fights, he also has an additional amount of damage. And they're going for it. That tower's gonna fall so quickly.
They can't even engage. What can they do? If they go in, they die. If they don't do anything, their turrets get eaten alive.
That's the big problem here. No real engage tool, no real catch either. They were just banking on being able to chase and run someone down using the Angela and the Entanglement as an extra bit of crowd control. But now they don't even have wave clear, and Alter Ego go for it.
Yeah, but if you charge in, you die. Remember, you can't team fight, not against this confident Snowball like this. DEWA United at the brink, their last hope of making it to the playoffs. This is it for DEWA. It's fight or flight, and Alter Ego don't even give them the chance to fight.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Well, charge, he does get it, but Nino was able to utilize a Purify, and like he was gone in 2 seconds. So they do have an engage tool, but at this point, they can't utilize it at all. What are they supposed to do?
Just engaging isn't enough, man. You have to time the Purify as well. Look at Nino. I mean, if you're in his shoes, 5-0, no real damage threat coming in from DEWA. When else would you use the Purify if not for the Wild Charge? That's the only thing he's waiting on. And now, they're going for the Lord. DEWA are trying to find some openings, but it's just too difficult. And they can't even trade damage back.
No, they can't. They can't even go for the neutral objective because that's Rasi. 3-man, I'm offended, but Alter Ego, discipline. They don't care. They got the neutral objective and they just back away. They can look for the end with this.
DEWA United, a new team to MPL ID Season 13 in their debut. They were able to make it to playoffs. Imagine that. Imagine the instant support corralling behind them from last season. This season, they started off so well with Drian coming to the mix. A veteran, a Kage, the savior of DEWA in the early stage, but now they're on the brinks of collapse. They're on the brinks of extinction.
Taz will get to that to this welcome down. 2-man stun in the front as Nino just goes and free hits, obliterating everything in his way. DEWA's last breath taken by Alter Ego as they move forward.
And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The final stand of the Sons of Gods. They fought with all that they had up until week number 8. But unfortunately, it is official. DEWA United have been officially eliminated out of the playoff contention here at MPL ID Season 13.
Sad situation overall for DEWA United, man. It seems like they had a plan, but against Alter Ego, it just was not allowed to even take form. Alter Ego clean sweep and thwarts DEWA's journey to MPL ID Season 13 playoffs. And they've found